So Meghan Markle lost her marbles yet again over at Netflix after all the drama that's been, by the way, worsening over time, day by day. We already know that Meghan Markle is having a very tough time grasping with the reality that pretty much 95% of the people that saw that trailer with her new show, With Love Meghan by Netflix, it's universally rejected. It is getting ratioed across the board, across all forms of social media. Ratioed, by the way, I mean the like to dislike ratio, and that really is very revealing. It is very telling about the current status over at Netflix and what's going on over there, all the poor choices that they have been making as of late, especially after the board of directors, by the way, and we touched on this a couple of days ago, decided to fire the marketing team that handled With Love Meghan by the demands of Meghan Markle because she had a problem with that. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future updates. You can also follow me at Mike01. I thank you also very much for the great and kind support. So, With Love Meghan, we know that a lot of celebrities, a lot of those in the media have been calling this thing out. We know that Ricky Gervais touched on this a little bit, calling it very much fake, calling it a knockoff of Curb Your Enthusiasm with some elements of cooking and gardening thrown in there, and handling bees. I mean, I don't even know what I was watching in that trailer, but focusing on everything here in isolation when it comes down to Meghan Markle, we know that she is basically on this train wreck that is really going at full speed, and it's about to hit a brick wall, because basically as of late, she really went head-to-head against the board of directors, against CEO Greg Peters, and really created a lot more trouble. Let's get into this, shall we? Now, one thing about Meghan Markle is that we know that she's a very overly demanding person. She's a control freak, as best described as some studio executives that have worked with her in the past, and also Meghan Markle continues to create more issues. Now, with the Meghan Markle drama only getting worse right now for Netflix, both behind the scenes and in the public eye, one major development going on now involves more to do with Meghan Markle's behavior and her most recent response toward the criticism of her new show called With Love Meghan, after she successfully got the marketing team that handled the trailer for her show fired since the board of directors sided with her. One of the greatest mistakes over at Netflix, by the way. Already Markle made a serious vocal demand, or a series of demands, that were so intense that it rattled throughout the entire studio and HQ over at Netflix, since it created so many issues for their marketing campaign of her new show. Already Markle demanded that the entire new marketing team needs to be more diverse and should 100% include DEI as the backbone to creating the proper marketing team to organize the upcoming trailers and TV spots for With Love Meghan in order to turn the show into a success as far as she believes. She also wants this marketing team to work on other projects not associated with her. The goal of her to even say that is ridiculous, right? But continuing on, the board shockingly after agreeing to fire the marketing team beforehand by Markle's demands, those same board members are now on the fence, some of them at least, about pursuing DEI, especially after all the backlash that this agenda has been receiving from all different organizations around the globe. However, only a handful of board members are said to be against Markle's demands. The majority are in agreement, however, with Markle to focus on DEI hiring for the new marketing team, which, by the way, will all come together within just as little as 2 weeks, with Markle's Netflix contract extending soon and the board looking to renew her contract. Some board members are now calling for Markle's contract to expire and to not renew. After those discussions were picked up by Meghan, it created a series of argumentative conversations that led Markle to playing the race card. Not a big surprise there, honestly, that she is being discriminated as to why there are discussions that her contract may not renew. Already they have concrete plans for a With Love Meghan Season 2 and 2 other mystery projects greenlit if her contract renews. Think of it as like a contingency plan to really get the ball rolling ahead of time if they do renew her contract. However, if her contract ends without a renewal, those projects will be dead in the water and Meghan's time at Netflix will be officially over. And we'll find that out this month, later in the month. Now, we already know that there's a lot of problems, and before I move on about this, let me just say one thing about Meghan Markle is that this really gives you the overall gist about how self-absorbed she truly is and why she's so heavily disliked, right? This is exactly what she tries to cover up. That's why her niceness, that's why her attitude comes across as so fake. It comes across as very disingenuous many times based on the things that she says, what she does, how she copies other people's work. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. I could go on for hours, but interestingly enough, alright, continuing on here, CEO Greg Peters is already fighting the board, and he has been, by the way, to not engage with DEI hiring for their marketing team by Meghan's demands. And Meghan already vocally slammed the CEO, that this was incompetent behavior for him even saying that, and coming from a sense of sexism and misogyny, since Meghan wants most of her marketing team members made up of quote-unquote women of color, as she puts it. The board seemingly put themselves in the middle of a tug-of-war scenario right now at Netflix, where conversations are now in play to either cancel or renew Meghan Markle's contract with Netflix. Again, this is a contract that she was paid $100 million for, that she wants to be renewed. She wants this to expand for another, who knows how long, right? It could be another year, 2, 3 years. If it gets renewed, it depends. Now, it's going to be interesting to see where this all goes, because we know that the majority of the board, actually are siding with Meghan, but there are more and more board members beginning to flip and going against Meghan Markle that don't want to work with her anymore and are beginning to realize just how damaging she truly is, just how insufferable she truly is to their brand, to their image, to how Netflix is presented in the streaming world, right? And that really is going to be very crucial. If they make the call to stay with Meghan Markle, I think you're going to lose even more subscribers. I think even more people are going to ditch Netflix and look to other alternatives out there, like Amazon, for example, or something like that. Now, the $100 million contract that is said to be crucial to Meghan's status in the public eye, since other studios do not want to work with her, period, as she wants to remain on television via streaming services. She wants to remain relevant. Meghan already made arguments that if they decide to not renew her contract, she will label Netflix publicly as engaging in discrimination, and also falling for false narratives by those on social media, as she put it. So she's also blaming those on social media across the board that criticize her, whether you want to call her an actress or a reality TV show star, whatever. I think that she's irrelevant, honestly. I think that she just uses all of her resources to stay relevant. And sure, she had her time on Suits, I get that. But really, everything is washed up with her, alright? Nobody wants to see her on television. Nobody wants to see her in the public eye. Everyone wants to just see her vanish into thin air and just, really, quite frankly, just stay silent. That's really what people want. They don't want her on their home screen on Netflix anymore whenever they boot open the app or anything on their television. And that's where Netflix is at right now. It's going to be a very interesting couple of 2 to 3 weeks, I would say. Yeah, 2 to 3 weeks until we get to really learn about that contract deal situation. And her behavior is not making things better for herself. It's creating more board members to flip right now against her, and it's creating a wider scenario. But overall, I would like to hear what everyone has to say about this below in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys later.